The Mario Kart series is known for its incredible tracks. But let's face it, not every track in the series is an absolute masterpiece. Some are so frustrating that they make us want to throw our controllers, while others are just straight up boring. So that's why in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the worst track in every Mario Kart game. Now before we get started, this video will only be covering the worst track in every mainline Mario Kart game, so I won't be counting the arcade games or anything like that. Additionally, I just want to let you guys know that everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You guys watching are more than welcome to disagree with me, and if you have different opinions than I do, feel free to put your own rankings in the comments below. And with all that said, let's jump right in. Starting off the list from Super Mario Kart is Vanilla Lake 2. Between the tight and unforgiving turns to the endless rows of ice blocks that seem designed to solely frustrate you, it's pretty easy to say that this track is not fun at all. And on top of that, the icy terrain often sends you sliding right into the water. Combine that with the stiff controls of the SNES era, and you're left with a track that feels more like a punishment. I'm always down to play a track that has a challenge to it, but Vanilla Lake 2 is just pure misery. Next on the list is Mumu Farm from Mario Kart 64. This track has you going around in an oval the entire time, so it's safe to say that the layout of this track just isn't fun at all. The only obstacles that you have to avoid are the Monty Moles, but other than that, there's just nothing else going on with this track. It's also a super short track. Like seriously, you can beat it in under a minute and a half. So overall, this is just a very boring track in my opinion. I love the version of Snowland that we got in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, but the original version is just an absolute atrocity. The handling in this game is already somewhat tricky, and adding slippery ice to the mix makes for a very frustrating experience. Not only this, the screen shaking that happens during the entire race is just super annoying. I don't even understand why this happens because it's not like the ice that you're driving on is bumpy, and it's really distracting when you're trying to focus on things that are happening in the race. So while I typically enjoy winter-themed tracks in Mario Kart, I sadly can't say that this is one of the tracks I enjoy. Baby Park is one of the most polarizing tracks in the series. Some people love its chaotic nature, but others see it as a nightmare. And personally, I just see the track as a simple oval with 7 laps and constantly getting spammed by items. And whenever I play this track, I either get lucky with items and get the easiest one of my life because I don't get item spammed, making the entire race boring, or I get item spammed so much that I just get stuck in the back. This track was fun the first few times I played it, but nowadays it's just flat out annoying. Figure 8 Circuit is the definition of a boring and bland track. And while I understand that this is a starter track, does it really have to be this basic? As the name implies, this track is just a figure 8, and there isn't a single obstacle that you have to avoid on this track. Maybe they could have added some giant Goombas that you have to avoid while driving? Even some piranha plants on the side that could bite you if you get too close would have been nice. But I guess Nintendo decided that they wanted to play it super safe with this track, and in my opinion, that was a mistake. Luigi Circuit has a similar problem to Figure 8 Circuit. It's way too basic. And considering that Mario Kart Wii has some of the best nitros in the entire series, I don't think that too many people are going to want to revisit this track very much. There is a shortcut at the end of the track that you can use to make an epic comeback, but other than that, this is a very straightforward track with very little creativity or challenge. Moving on to Mario Kart 7, we see that Toad Circuit is very similar to both Luigi Circuit and Figure 8 Circuit. I understand that this is yet another starter track, but I feel like Nintendo could make these tracks a lot less bland. Just like Luigi Circuit, we have a basic layout and not much going on. There is a shortcut at the end, but that's the only real excitement you're gonna get from this track. Mario Kart 8 is another game with lots of amazing tracks, but personally, I've never enjoyed Excite Bike Arena. This is one of the tracks that we got in the original Wii U DLC, and while we got a lot of really good tracks from that, this was always my least favorite. I will admit that this is a really nice reference to the original Excite Bike game, but as a track itself, it's pretty bad. The only thing that you can really do here is trick off of these ramps, and while the layout of this track does switch up every time you race on it, it just seems to get repetitive really fast. This is also yet another track that's shaped like an oval. So while this track might be called Excite Bike Arena, I don't see anything exciting about it. On to the final track of this video, we have Sky High Sundae from Mario Kart Tour. Now I know that this track technically came to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe through the Booster Course Pass first, but according to the files in the game's code, it is considered a tour track by Nintendo. Anyways, I remember thinking that this track was super cool when it first came out, because seriously, who wouldn't want to race on ice cream? But the more I played this track, the more I realized how basic it really was, and looking back, this track was such a disappointment. I don't know what it is with Nintendo and making oval-shaped tracks, but why was this track another oval? They seriously couldn't have come up with anything more unique than this? Come on! And I know that they have you jumping from platform to platform, which in theory is kinda cool, but this was just not executed well at all, and we're left with yet another bland and boring track. Anyways guys, that is all for today's video, and if you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see more of my content. And I will see you guys in the next video.